First battle. A howl from the opposing army. Swords thudded against shields. Thunder beat in unison. Hearts pounded. I gripped my sword and braced the shield against my shoulder. Giddy tendrils raced through my gut and chest. A wild grin broke upon my face. I began to bounce, knees spring-like, standing on toes. A racehorse in the gate. A wild shout went up to my left. I turned to see a wiry warrior clad in sparkling scale and a green cape, carrying a coffin-shaped shield. He strode the front of our lines, turned to our enemies, and threw insults against them. "Cowardly vermin of Trimaris, prepare to die!" He shook his sword, and our army let out a cackling howl. Goosebumps spread across arms and belly. I thudded the butt of my rattan sword on the inside of the shield. Our lines advanced. The enemy continued drumming their shields, and likewise strode forward. Full of adrenaline, eyes wide with awe, muscles tense as steel, I approached my first battle, almost forgetting that none of this was real. No one would die. No one would kill. This was my introduction to the SCA, or the Society for Creative Anachronism. The SCA is a collection of oddballs who dress in medieval clothing, strap on armor, and beat each other with wooden swords. They also dance, sing, and create works of art. The group is a collection of outlandish creatives, hyper-intelligent geeks, talented artists, Hamish performers, history buffs, academics, poets, social misfits, and folks who simply refuse to succumb to the drudgery of being normal. I was a member for nearly 10 years and loved every minute. The heart of the SCA is the weekend event, an affair that revolves around a number of semi-historic activities, usually held at a state park. Typically, a battle or tournament is the centerpiece of the event. My first battle was small by today's standards. Each army had only 100 people. The group now hosts battles which involve thousands of participants. The largest is held annually in Pennsylvania in August and is known as the Pennsic War. As the Pennsic example implies, SCA groups and events are spread throughout the United States. In fact, the group is growing internationally, especially in Europe. There are also groups in Japan and Korea. The SCA divides the U.S. and the world into a patchwork of regional organizations called kingdoms. Georgia, for example, is part of the Kingdom of Meridies, which also includes Alabama, Tennessee, and Mississippi. North and South Carolina are the Kingdom of Atlantia. California is in the West Kingdom. Each kingdom is further divided into local groups called baronies or shires. The function of local groups is to host events, welcome newcomers, and teach medieval skills. Skills include arts such as calligraphy, jewelry making, woodworking, and costuming. Craft arts such as armoring and blacksmithing. Performing arts such as medieval dancing and singing. And martial arts such as hand-to-hand fighting and archery. Most groups host a weekly business meeting and various guild meetings to practice these arts. Since I joined, the organization has expanded tremendously and is now a full-fledged counter-society with its own government, a monarchy with rulers chosen by combat, its own economy, some members make a full-time living selling their art, and its own social system, a system of titles, clans, knights, and nobles. Every member of the SCA develops an alternate persona, a medieval character they become during events. The combined effects are stunning. At times, I felt I'd been transported back in time. My first SCA battle produced all the nerves, all the excitement, all the intensity of entering a real battle, pounding heart and manic energy and fear of being killed. For some, the SCA is an exercise in living history. Many members are meticulous researchers, accomplished experts in a chosen discipline of history. Others join the group for its unique social characteristics, its embracement of eccentricity, its community and camaraderie. But for me, the SCA was an act of jubilant defiance, an enthusiastic refusal to surrender to tedium. I did not, and do not, want to abandon the creative flow of childhood. I am convinced that play, fantasy and creativity for its own sake, is a deep and profound human need, one we, as adults, must nurture and maintain. Play is not an escape, it is a celebration. Play is the essence of creativity. We, as adults, for the sake of our happiness and our souls, should rediscover it. Hello, welcome to the vocabulary lesson for first battle. Let's begin. First, we see the word howl, a howl from the opposing army. A howl is similar to a scream or a yell. Oh, that's a howl, or ah, that's also a howl. So a howl is a scream or a yell. Okay, and we see the word thudded. Thudded here is being used as a verb. The noun thud is a sound. It's a heavy, low sound like this. That is a thud, noun. If you make that sound, then we call that thudding or to thud. So I thudded my hand against the desk. All right, next we see in unison. In unison. In unison means together, together at the same time. Two people or more doing the same thing at the same time. We say in unison, in unison, in unison. We see the word giddy in the first paragraph. Giddy means nervous and excited. Giddy, giddy. Giddy means nervous and excited. It means nervous, but usually nervous about something good, nervous about something fun. You might be giddy before Christmas because you will get some gifts. So giddy. Giddy means nervous and excited. Next paragraph, we see the word wiry. It's spelled W-I-R-Y, but in fact, we say it with 3 syllables. Y-er-ry. Wiry. Wiry. Wiry means thin with muscles. It means a person who has muscles, okay, so they're a little bit strong, but they're also very thin. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the governor of my state, California. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not wiry. He's not. He has very, very big muscles. A wiry person has smaller muscles, and they're very thin. They have no fat. No fat. Jackie Chan is wiry. Jackie Chan. Jet Li is wiry. Wiry. Okay, we see the phrase goosebumps. Goosebumps. Goosebumps are the little bumps on your skin when you are afraid or nervous or excited. I think in Japan they say chicken bumps sometimes, some other countries, but we say goose. Goose is an animal. It's like a big duck. So goosebumps, the little bumps on your skin when you're nervous or cold or scared. All right. We see the verb to advance. To advance. In this case, to advance means move forward, move straight ahead, move forward, to advance, to advance. The army's advanced means the army's moved forward. All right, in the next paragraph, we see the word adrenaline. Adrenaline. Adrenaline is a chemical from your body. Adrenaline is a chemical in your body. Adrenaline is a hormone, a chemical in your body. When you are afraid or excited, your body makes adrenaline. Adrenaline makes you want to run away or fight. So when you feel very excited, you have a lot of energy, it's because you have adrenaline in your body, in your blood. All right, we see the word awe here. A-W-E. Awe. It's pronounced awe. 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 You don't actually say a W sound. There's not awa. No, it's awe. And awe means surprise, amazement. You feel like, oh, wow, amazing, incredible, wow. That feeling we call awe. Awe. And the word awesome comes from this short word, awe. Okay, next paragraph we have the word oddballs. An oddball is a person who is a little strange. So odd, O-D-D, means a little strange, but that's an adjective. Oddball is a noun. It describes it refers to a person. An oddball is a person who is odd. An oddball is a person who is a little strange. Oddball, a strange person, strange person. We see the word medieval in that paragraph. Medieval is a period of history. It's a time in history, in European history. Medieval, the medieval history period was about 500 AD to about 1500 AD. So knights and armor. You know, you've seen movies about King Arthur, Braveheart. Those are medieval movies. That's a medieval time period. Medieval. All right, we see the word outlandish in this paragraph. Outlandish means kind of dramatic and creative and a little crazy. But not crazy like on the street, living on the street crazy. Crazy and fun. Very loud and fun. For example, Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is an outlandish person. If you see Jim Carrey's comedy movies, right, he's always yelling and screaming and yeah! He acts kind of crazy, but it's very fun, very funny. That's outlandish. Outlandish. So outlandish means kind of crazy and fun. We see the word hamish here, hamish performers. Hamish means too dramatic, too strong. And hamish, really, we use it to describe an actor or an actress. Say, oh, she is a ham, or she is hamish. A ham is a noun. Hamish is an adjective. If we say she's hamish, it means, oh, her acting is too strong, too much. All right, we see the word buff here. B-U-F-F. A buff, a history buff. A buff is a fan, someone who likes some kind of field or discipline, someone who likes to study something or do something, especially studying something. So, for example, here we have a history buff is a person who loves to study history. It's their hobby. If we have a train buff, it means they love to study trains and learn about trains. Right? So a buff, you can put anything in front of it. A train buff, a car buff, a motorcycle buff, a history buff. Okay, we see the word misfits here. Misfit. A misfit is someone who does not fit in with society, with the social group. So a misfit, someone who's basically not normal. Someone who doesn't fit with normal society, doesn't fit with the normal culture. We call that kind of person a misfit. It could be positive, it could be negative. It depends on the situation. But a misfit does not fit in, does not belong with the normal group. Next, we have the word drudgery. Drudgery means very boring work. Difficult and boring work, but especially boring. Drudgery, drudgery, drudgery. Many students think that studying English is drudgery. Oh, it's boring and difficult work. That's what students sometimes say, right? They're using textbooks. They use normal methods. They say, oh, this is drudgery. Drudgery. Drudgery, difficult, boring work. Drudgery. Drudgery. Okay, next paragraph, we see the phrase, revolves around. Revolves around. Revolves around means it's the center of the event. It's the most important thing. So we say, the event revolves around a tournament or a fight. It means the fight is the most important part of the event. The event revolves around a fight. The event revolves around a battle. Means the battle's in the middle. It's the most important part of the event. All right, and centerpiece is the same idea. We also see the word centerpiece in that paragraph. It's the same meaning. It means it's the most important thing. It's at the center. Okay, next paragraph, on to page 2. We see the word patchwork. A patchwork. A patchwork means a collection. What it really means is a group of things that are put together. Lots of little pieces put together. For example, if I have a lot of pieces of clothing, and I sew them together, I put them together, and I make pants. But I'm not using one big piece, right? I have many little pieces that I'm sewing together. That's called a patchwork. A patchwork. A patchwork. In this article, it says the United States is a patchwork of kingdoms. It means the small groups called kingdoms are put together to make the United States. A patchwork. A patchwork. Okay, then we go on to 2 more paragraphs down. We see the phrase full-fledged. Full-fledged. Full-fledged means total, complete, 100%. If I say he is a full-fledged alcoholic, right? Alcoholic, someone who drinks alcohol too much. That means he's a total alcoholic. Completely, totally an alcoholic. A full-fledged alcoholic. So full-fledged means total, complete, 100%. All right, we see the word monarchy here. Monarchy is a kind of government. Monarchy. Monarchy is a government that is ruled by, that is controlled by a king and a queen. That's a monarchy. A monarchy. A monarchy. Not many monarchies in the world anymore. But in the past, many monarchies, right? There was a king and a queen. They were the true leaders. That's a monarchy style of government. Okay, down towards the end of that paragraph, we see the word persona. Persona. Persona is kind of like a character or a personality. But it's one that you create. So it's a character or personality that you create. We call that a persona. 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 Next paragraph, we see the word stunning. Stunning means amazing, incredible, and surprising. That's stunning. Stunning, incredible, amazing, surprising, stunning, stunning. All right, we see the word manic in this paragraph. Manic means having a lot of energy. Very, very, very energetic. Super energetic. Very, very, very energetic. Lots and lots and lots of energy. We say manic. Manic. He is manic. He is manic. He's always running around. He always speaks very fast. Manic. Manic. Next paragraph, we have a few new words and a few interesting words. One is meticulous. Meticulous. Many members of the SCA are meticulous researchers. Meticulous means very, very careful. And especially meticulous means careful about details. Careful about small details. We call that meticulous. It's an adjective, meticulous. A meticulous person, a very careful person. A person who's careful about details. Meticulous. 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 Okay, a little farther down, we see the word eccentricity. Eccentricity means weirdness, strangeness, eccentricity. But eccentricity means strangeness that is okay, it's not negative. Strangeness, maybe that's a little bit fun or a little interesting. We call that eccentricity. Eccentricity. Eccentricity is a noun. Next, we see the word camaraderie. Camaraderie. You really don't pronounce that second A. We usually say camaraderie. Camaraderie. Camaraderie is a feeling of friendship. It's the emotion of friendship. When you have a friend, the emotion you feel for the other person, we call it camaraderie. We usually don't say love, right? If you have a friend, it might be love if you really have a close friend. You might say you love your friend. But a normal, average friend, you might just say you have camaraderie. You feel camaraderie. It's a feeling of friendship, camaraderie. At the end of that paragraph, we see the word jubilant. Jubilant. Jubilant means very, very, very happy. Jubilant. He is very jubilant means he's very happy. Yay! Jubilant, happy. Jubilant means happy. Jubilant means very happy. Then we see tedium. Tedium means very boring work. Very, very boring. Usually tedium has the idea of having something that's very, very small. Lots of details. Many boring details. We call that tedium. The Tedium is the noun. Tedious is the adjective. This work is tedious, or this is tedium. Finally, we see the phrase, for its own sake. For its own sake. Do something for its own sake. When you do something for its own sake, you do it because you enjoy it, only because you like it, only because you enjoy it. You're not trying to get some other goal. You don't have another reason to do it. You just do it because you like it. We call that doing it for its own sake. For its own sake. For its own sake. Okay, that is all of the vocabulary. Listen a few times until you are familiar with all of these words, and then go on to the mini story. Bye-bye. Welcome to the mini story for First Battle. This is AJ. Let's get started. Lassiter is a meticulous person. He loves accounting. He loves money. He gets giddy about counting pennies. Lassiter works with a guy named Ghana. Ghana hates accounting. He thinks it's drudgery. Ghana is an outlandish guy who loves to party and drink and laugh. Both Lassiter and Ghana work at the same job. They are accountants. One day, Lassiter argues with Ghana. Lassiter says, "Life doesn't revolve around parties, Ghana. You need to be more careful with your work." Ghana laughs and says, "You're so boring. Life should be jubilant and fun always." Then Ghana takes a beer out of his desk and throws it to Lassiter. "Drink this," he says, "then you'll have more fun at work." Lassiter drinks the beer, and he feels much happier. Work seems much more fun now. Lassiter says, "We're friends now. We have good camaraderie. Thanks, Ghana. I'm going to drink every day at work and enjoy life for its own sake." Ghana and Lassiter eventually become full-fledged alcoholics, but they enjoy their jobs. All right, let's go back to the beginning, this time with questions. Lassiter is a meticulous person. Is Lassiter a very, very careful person? Yes, that's right. Lassiter is a meticulous person. Does Lassiter like small details? Yes, that's exactly right. Lassiter is a meticulous person. He likes very small details. He's very careful about small details. Is Ghana a meticulous person? No, Ghana is not a meticulous person. Is Ghana or Lassiter a meticulous person? Well, Lassiter is a meticulous person. Who is a meticulous person? Well, of course, Lassiter is a meticulous person. Is Ghana a meticulous person, or is Lassiter a meticulous person? Well, of course, it's Lassiter. Lassiter is a meticulous, careful person. He loves accounting. He loves money. He gets giddy about counting pennies. Does Lassiter love to count pennies? Yes, he does. He loves to count pennies. Does he feel a little bit nervous and excited when he counts pennies? Yes, that's right. Lassiter feels giddy when he counts pennies. He feels nervous and excited when he counts pennies. Does Ghana feel giddy about counting pennies? No, Ghana does not enjoy counting pennies. He doesn't get nervous. He doesn't get excited about counting pennies. Who gets nervous about counting pennies? Who gets giddy about counting pennies? Who gets excited about counting pennies? Well, Lassiter, of course. Lassiter gets giddy about counting pennies. Does Lassiter get giddy about going to parties? No, Lassiter does not get giddy about going to parties. When does Lassiter become giddy? Well, Lassiter becomes giddy when he counts money, when he counts dollars and quarters and pennies. That's when he gets giddy. Lassiter works with a guy named Ghana. Ghana hates accounting. He hates math. He hates small details. Ghana is not a meticulous person. He thinks accounting is drudgery. Does Ghana think accounting is a boring job? Yes, that's right. He thinks it's drudgery. He thinks accounting is drudgery. He thinks accounting is very boring and hard and difficult and no fun. Ghana thinks accounting is drudgery. Does Lassiter think accounting is drudgery? No, not Lassiter. Lassiter loves accounting. He does not think it's drudgery. Who thinks accounting is drudgery? Well, Ghana. Ghana thinks accounting is drudgery. Does Lassiter think accounting is drudgery, or does Ghana think accounting is drudgery? Well, it's Ghana. Ghana thinks accounting is drudgery. What does Ghana think is drudgery? Well, Ghana thinks accounting is drudgery. Why? Well, because Ghana is an outlandish guy who loves to party and drink and laugh. Is Ghana a quiet man? No, he's an outlandish man. He loves to laugh and drink and talk and be a little bit crazy and fun. Ghana is an outlandish guy. He loves to party. Yeah! Is Lassiter an outlandish guy? No, Lassiter is not outlandish. Lassiter is meticulous, careful, and calm. Ghana is outlandish. Who is outlandish? Well, of course, Ghana is outlandish. Is Ghana outlandish at work, at his job? Yes, he is. Ghana is outlandish at his job. Is Ghana outlandish at home? Yes, he's still crazy and fun at home. He's outlandish at home, and he's outlandish at work. He always loves to party and drink and laugh and have fun. One day at work, Lassiter argues with Ghana. He says to Ghana, "Look, Ghana, life doesn't revolve around parties." Does Lassiter think parties are the most important thing in life? No, Lassiter does not think parties are the center of life. He does not think parties are most important in life. He says life does not revolve around parties. Life doesn't revolve around parties. Does Ghana think that life revolves around parties? Well, yeah, Ghana does. Ghana thinks life revolves around parties. He thinks parties are the most important. He thinks parties are in the center of life. Most important thing in life. So for Ghana, life revolves around parties. Does life revolve around parties for Lassiter? No, life doesn't revolve around parties for Lassiter. For Lassiter, what does life revolve around? Well, for Lassiter, life revolves around work. Work is most important. So Lassiter says, work. That's what life revolves around. Life revolves around work. Life does not revolve around parties. And he tells Ghana, you need to be more careful and meticulous with your work. Ghana laughs. He says, Lassiter, you are so boring. Life should be jubilant and fun always. Does Ghana always want to be happy? Yes, he does. Ghana always wants to be jubilant, very, very happy and fun and excited. Does Ghana think life should always be jubilant? Yes, he does. Ghana thinks life should always be jubilant. He thinks all people should be jubilant all the time. Does Lassiter think life should always be jubilant? No, he doesn't. Lassiter thinks life must always be hard work. Life must always be serious. Lassiter is not jubilant, but Ghana is jubilant. So which person is more jubilant, Ghana or Lassiter? Well, of course, Ghana is more jubilant. He's always jubilant, and Lassiter almost never. Okay, so Ghana tells him life should be jubilant and fun always. Then Ghana takes a beer out from his desk, and he throws it to Lassiter, and he says, Lassiter, drink this. Then you'll have more fun at work. Lassiter drinks the beer, and he feels much happier. Work seems much more fun now. He says to Ghana, Ghana, we are friends now. We have good camaraderie. Thanks, Ghana. Do Lassiter and Ghana feel like they are friends? Yes, they have camaraderie. They have a feeling of friendship. Lassiter and Ghana have camaraderie. In the past, did Lassiter and Ghana have camaraderie? No, in the past they did not feel they were friends, but now they feel like friends. Now they have camaraderie. Who does Lassiter have camaraderie with? Lassiter has camaraderie with Ghana, of course. And who does Ghana have camaraderie with? Ghana has camaraderie with Lassiter. They have camaraderie with each other. They both have a feeling of friendship with each other. So, he says, we have good camaraderie now. Thanks, Ghana. Then Lassiter says, I'm going to drink every day at work, and I'm going to enjoy life for its own sake. Is Lassiter going to enjoy life just to live? Yeah, that's right. He's going to enjoy it for its own sake. He's going to enjoy life by itself. Just living he's going to enjoy. Not some other reason, not some other goal. He's going to enjoy life for its own sake. Is he going to enjoy drinking for its own sake? Yeah, I guess so. He just likes drinking. He's not drinking for some goal. He's not going to make more money because he's drinking. He's just drinking for its own sake, just because it's fun. Is he going to enjoy life for its own sake? Yes, he's just going to have fun in life. He's not going to try to get some serious goal. He's going to enjoy life for its own sake. And finally, Ghana and Lassiter eventually become full-fledged alcoholics. Do they become total alcoholics? Yes, that's right. They become 100% alcoholics. They become full alcoholics. They become full-fledged alcoholics. Do Ghana and Lassiter become full-fledged workaholics? No, not workaholics. Workaholic means you work and work and work too much, like many people in Japan. Just kidding. But full-fledged alcoholics means you drink too much. Drinking. Ghana and Lassiter are not full-fledged workaholics. They are full-fledged alcoholics. Who is a full-fledged alcoholic? Well, Ghana is a full-fledged alcoholic. Who else is a full-fledged alcoholic? Well, Lassiter is also a full-fledged alcoholic. Are they both full-fledged alcoholics? Yes, they are. They are both full-fledged alcoholics. Ghana and Lassiter become full-fledged alcoholics. But they enjoy their jobs every day now. All right, now one more time. I'm going to pause after key phrases. Just copy my pronunciation. Say the phrase and copy my pronunciation. Let's go. Lassiter is a meticulous person. Lassiter is a meticulous person. He loves math and accounting. He gets giddy about counting pennies. He gets giddy about counting pennies. Lassiter works with a guy named Ghana. Ghana hates accounting. He thinks it's drudgery. He thinks it's drudgery. Ghana is an outlandish guy. Ghana is an outlandish guy. He loves to party and drink and laugh. One day at work, Lassiter argues with Ghana. He says to Ghana, "Life doesn't revolve around parties." Life doesn't revolve around parties. You need to be more careful and meticulous with your work. Ghana laughs and he says, "You are so boring, Lassiter. Life should be jubilant and fun always." Life should be jubilant and fun always. Then Ghana takes a beer out of his desk and throws it to Lassiter. "Drink this," he says, "then you'll have more fun at work." Lassiter drinks the beer and feels much happier. Work seems much more fun now. Finally, Lassiter says, "We are friends now. We have good camaraderie." We have good camaraderie. Camaraderie. "Thanks, Ghana. I'm going to drink every day at work and enjoy life for its own sake." And enjoy life for its own sake. Ghana and Lassiter eventually become full-fledged alcoholics. Ghana and Lassiter eventually become full-fledged alcoholics. But they enjoy their jobs. Okay, now please pause and try to tell all of the story yourself. Try to tell all of the story and use the vocabulary correctly. You don't need to remember every word, but do try to use the correct phrases and words. All right, see you next time. Bye-bye. Hello, welcome to the Point of View mini-stories for First Battle. Same story, 3 different versions. Version number 1, 25 years ago. 25 years ago, there was a man named Lassiter. Lassiter was a meticulous person. He loved accounting. He got giddy about counting pennies. Lassiter worked with a guy named Ghana. Ghana hated accounting. He thought it was drudgery. Ghana was an outlandish guy who loved to party and drink and laugh. One day at work, Lassiter argued with Ghana. He said, "Life doesn't revolve around parties. You need to be more careful with your work." Ghana laughed and said, "You are so boring. Life should be jubilant and fun always." Then Ghana took a beer out of his desk and threw it to Lassiter. "Drink this," he said, "then you'll have more fun at work." Lassiter drank the beer and felt much happier. Work seemed much more fun now. He said, "Ghana, we are friends now. We have good camaraderie. Thanks. I'm going to drink every day at work and enjoy life for its own sake." Ghana and Lassiter eventually became full-fledged alcoholics, but they enjoyed their jobs. All right, version number 2. Version number 2. Okay? So we'll say something changed last year. Last year, something happened, and Lassiter and Ghana changed their personalities. Their personalities changed for some reason. Maybe in the past, in the far past, Lassiter was more relaxed. And maybe in the far past, Ghana was more serious. But something happened last year. We don't know what, but something happened, and they changed their personalities. Let's begin. There's a guy named Lassiter. Since last year, Lassiter has been a very meticulous person. He has loved accounting. He has gotten giddy about counting pennies since last year. Since last year, Lassiter has worked with a guy named Ghana. Ghana has hated accounting that time. He has thought it was drudgery. During this time, Ghana has been an outlandish guy who loves to party and drink and laugh. One day at work, Lassiter argued with Ghana. He said, "Life doesn't revolve around parties. You need to be more careful with your work." Ghana laughed and said, "You are so boring. Life should be jubilant and fun always." Then Ghana took a beer out of his desk and threw it to Lassiter. "Drink this," he said, "then you'll have more fun at work." Lassiter drank the beer and felt much happier. Work seemed much more fun now. He said, "We're friends now, Ghana. We have good camaraderie. Thanks. I'm going to drink every day at work and enjoy life for its own sake." Ghana and Lassiter eventually became full-fledged alcoholics, but they enjoyed their lives and their jobs much more. Okay, very nice. Now, in this case, we could change this story a little bit. Maybe I'll do a number 4 version here. We could start with, since last year, Lassiter has been meticulous. Maybe Ghana and Lassiter started to work together last year. And when they met each other, they changed their personalities for some reason. Or we could say Lassiter is a meticulous person. We could use the present tense. But then we could say, since last year, Lassiter has worked with a guy named Ghana. So it means his job situation changed last year, and that job has continued until now. Okay, so it's just a matter of meaning. How we change the verb tenses changes the meaning of the timeline of what has happened in time. Okay, anyway, let's go on to the future version now. The future version. 10 years from now, there will be a guy named Lassiter, and Lassiter will be a meticulous person. He'll love accounting. He'll get giddy about counting pennies. Lassiter will work with a guy named Ghana. Ghana will hate accounting. He'll think it's drudgery. Ghana is going to be an outlandish guy who loves to party and drink and laugh. One day at work, Lassiter will argue with Ghana. He'll say, "Life doesn't revolve around parties. You need to be more careful with your work." Ghana will laugh and say, "You are so boring. Life should be jubilant and fun always." Then Ghana will take a beer out of his desk and throw it to Lassiter. "Drink this," he'll say, "then you'll have more fun at work." Lassiter will drink the beer, and he'll feel much happier. Work will seem much more fun now. He'll say, "We are friends now. We have good camaraderie. Thanks, Ghana. I'm going to drink every day at work and enjoy life for its own sake." Ghana and Lassiter are eventually going to become full-fledged alcoholics, but they'll enjoy their jobs. Okay, those are the 3 versions. Once again, listen to the 3 versions. Go back, listen to each one, then pause after each version and try to tell it yourself. Try to use the correct verb forms and the correct vocabulary when you tell the story. If you have trouble, it's okay. Go back, listen again, maybe pause after every sentence and say each sentence yourself. Then play one more sentence, pause again, and say that sentence. So if you can't do all of the story, go sentence by sentence. That's okay too. And don't think too much about the grammar. This is important. Don't think too much about it. Don't analyze it. Don't try to remember all the rules. Okay, just listen, understand the meaning, and try to say it yourself. Do not think about it too much. Okay, see you next time. Hello, and welcome to the commentary for First Battle. All right, let's chat a little bit about this article. This article was written by me, so this is a true story. And I wrote this article originally for a magazine in Georgia. So it was published in a magazine called Flagpole Magazine in Georgia. I made the article a little bit shorter and a little simpler for Effortless English, but it's basically the same article. And it's true, I did belong to this group for about 10 years, I guess. I was a member of this group. I joined when I went to university, to undergrad. And I went to this, I guess you would call it an activity fair for freshmen, for new students. We went and you could see all the different clubs and organizations at the university. And one of them was this group, the SCA. And I thought, oh, wow, this looks really interesting and strange and fun. So I went to one of their meetings, and then I decided it still looked interesting. So I went to the first event. And that first event I describe in the beginning of this article. It was a battle with about 200 people in armor and swords. And it was great fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I had a really good time. I remember fighting and fighting and fighting all day. So after this battle, they had another battle. Then they had another battle. And then after that, I fought just against individual people. And we're using these wooden swords, but it's real fighting in the sense that it's like a martial arts competition. So it's not like professional wrestling. You actually do try to win. So if you hit somebody, for example, if you hit them in the head, then they die. If you hit them in the chest, in the body, they die. If you hit them in the arm or the leg, they lose that arm or they lose that leg. They have to put it behind their back. They can't use it. So it's quite fun, actually. And I continued going to many of these battles for many years. And then finally, I went to graduate school. I got busy, started teaching English, and most importantly, I started to travel. And that's when I quit the group and started doing other things. But as I mentioned at the end of this article, the thing that I enjoyed most about this group was that it was fun. It was like play. It reminded me of when I was a kid, actually, and we would just run around and play all the time and just have fun. It was not so serious. It's easy as an adult, for us to become so serious all of the time. This happens to me sometimes. I just work too much and I become very serious and I don't think about just having fun and playing and relaxing and being totally away from any kind of work. But I think it's very important. We need to do that, especially if we are in some kind of creative field or we need to be creative. Well, to be creative, I think you have to play. You have to play. You have to enjoy life. And I think what happened is that when I was younger, I was a member of this group, the SCA. That was my playtime, my play group. And then later, I replaced the SCA with travel. And travel really is now the way I play. It's my way of finding new things, doing interesting things, just for its own sake. So when I travel, I don't have any big serious goals usually. I just want to learn and enjoy and be surprised. My favorite thing about traveling is that it surprises me. I wake up in the morning and I don't know what will happen that day, right? Normally here in San Francisco, I go to work. I have the similar day each day. It's kind of a routine. Most of us do that if we're working. Well, I think it's important we have to break that routine somehow. One way is to join some group like the SCA. You join some creative, fun group, and you just go out and have fun. You break your work routine, right? You do things that are not so serious. You do things that might be surprising or new or different. Maybe you go and you learn how to dance, or you go out to nightclubs, or you go out with your friends somewhere, or you take a trip, or you join some interesting group. But anyway, we need these things in our life, I think, so that we don't become terribly boring and dull. Because if you just go to work or go to school, come home, study, go to sleep, do the same thing all the time, you become boring and dull. In fact, I've had this problem recently. I've been feeling quite bad recently because I feel like all I do is work. I teach in my class, and then I work on lessons for Effortless English, or I work on the website, and then I go to bed, and then I wake up, and then I do the same thing again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And it's making my brain, making my mind kind of dull, kind of boring. I'm not so interesting. And that's not good. So anyway, I'm trying to do some new things now. I just joined a yoga club yesterday. Tamoe and I are planning some travel, some trips, and we're hoping by the end of the year, or possibly the beginning of next year, depending on our travel plans, we're hoping at that time that we can move to Thailand. And in fact, we have plans to move to Thailand and start a school, an English school, somewhere in Thailand, probably Phuket in the south of Thailand. So who knows, hopefully next year I can talk to you about the Effortless English School in Phuket, Thailand. That's my hope, that's my plan. That's what we are hoping to do. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't know about the time right now. But for now, trying to do some yoga, trying to do some fun things, and also planning some trips. Tomoe and I are also talking about taking a trip to South America at the end of the year. We would like to go to Ecuador and Peru, possibly Bolivia. If there are any Effortless English members in those countries, we would love to visit you. We would love to see you. So if you're living in Peru or Ecuador or Bolivia, maybe even Chile or anywhere in that region, then please email us, or I'll look on the member list. If I can find you, maybe we'll come and visit you and chat with you. Okay, well, anyway, the basic message from this article is to have fun. Don't always be so serious. You have to enjoy your life. You have to do things for their own sake, just because you like them. No other reason. That might be travel. That might be a fun group like this. It might be joining a soccer club. It might be anything. I don't know. But I think it's a great idea, in order to be happy, to have some activities like this where you change your routine. You don't do the same thing every day, and that you can just have fun and enjoy your life. So please do that. And, that goes for English too. Take a break from English sometimes. You don't need to be so serious about English all the time. It's good to be a motivated student. It's good to be a serious student. But sometimes you just need to have fun. If you feel tired of English, no problem. Just take a break. Take a break. Take a vacation from English. Or maybe you don't want to take a vacation from English. That's okay. Focus only on fun things for English. Just find some fun movies that you enjoy. Find some funny TV shows and focus on those. Learn from those. Find an interesting, fun book or magazine or blog or website and just learn from those. You don't always have to be so serious. Serious is good. It's okay. It's good to be serious a lot of the time, but you need a break sometimes. So please give yourself a break. Okay, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.